Imagine this for a second. You finally buy a home, and the bank owns you longer than your career, longer than your health, maybe even longer than your life. Sounds dramatic? Welcome to the future of housing. The 50-year mortgage. Politicians are calling it innovation. Banks call it affordable. But what if this so-called solution is actually the most expensive financial mistake an entire generation could make? For decades, the American dream had one clear finish line. Retire, no mortgage, no landlord, no monthly housing payment. A paid-off home was freedom. And now, that finish line is being quietly erased. Here's the reality nobody puts in the campaign ads. The average first-time homebuyer in the U.S. is now 40 years old. 40, which means a 50-year mortgage keeps you paying until you're 90. Not a metaphor. 90. But the pitch sounds tempting, right? Lower monthly payments. Finally affordable. A chance to own a home. It sounds responsible until you look at the math. Let's use a simple example. A $400,000 home, totally normal in today's market. At 6% interest, a 30-year mortgage costs you about $863,000 total. Painful? Yes. Fair? Debatable. Now stretch that same loan to 50 years. Total cost? About $1.26 million. That's over $860,000 in interest alone. You're paying almost double, just to feel slightly more comfortable each month. And what do you get for that sacrifice? Around $290 in monthly savings. You trade $400,000 of your future to save the cost of a daily coffee habit. This is where compound interest turns from your best friend into your worst enemy. The same force that builds wealth in investing quietly drains it in a 50-year mortgage. Every extra year multiplies the damage. When you invest, time works for you. With a 50-year mortgage, time works against you, relentlessly, mathematically, mercilessly. And we've seen this movie before. Japan, 1990s. Exploding home prices, families locked out of ownership, so the government pushed ultra-long mortgages. The result? A housing crash of nearly 70% and 3 lost decades. If you were 25 when it collapsed, you were 61 before prices recovered. An entire generation erased, not by laziness, but by bad policy. So why does this idea keep coming back? Because your brain hates big numbers and loves small payments. Behavioral economists call it payment bias. It's why car dealers don't ask, "Can you afford a $40,000 car?" They ask, "Can you afford $650 a month?" Same trick, bigger trap. The 50-year mortgage is a payday loan wearing a luxury suit. It feels manageable now and destroys you later. And here's the quiet disaster nobody talks about. Equity. After 10 years on a 30-year mortgage, you've paid off about 16%. On a 50-year mortgage, less than 4%. 10 years of payments, and you still owe almost everything. You're not building wealth. You're renting from the bank with extra responsibilities. Now let's talk retirement. Social Security averages around $2,000 a month. A 50-year mortgage payment? About the same. Do the math. Food, healthcare, utilities? Congratulations. You've engineered retirement failure. So what are your options at 70 with 25 years left on your mortgage? Keep working, sell with no equity, or depend on your kids. Every option is bad. And speaking of kids, this destroys generational wealth. Instead of inheriting a home, they inherit debt. Instead of stability, they inherit stress. Here's the final illusion. This will make housing affordable. No, it makes housing more expensive. When everyone can borrow more, prices rise. Always. The only winners are banks, collecting interest for 20 extra years. Same house, same risk, double the profit. The real solution isn't complicated. Build more homes, increase supply, fix zoning, do the hard work. But that's difficult. This is easy. So remember this. If you can't afford a 30-year mortgage, a 50-year mortgage won't save you. It just turns today's struggle into tomorrow's prison. Don't let better marketing steal your future. If this helped you see the trap, hit subscribe. We talk about money the way banks hope you never will.